Shooting another video today because I fucking feel like it. It's better than sitting here thinking, lost in my own damn thoughts for an hour thinking about, yep, I should just commit suicide and get it over with because nothing fucking matters. Like, here I am, stuck in this situation with this damn girl who's treating me like shit. And it's like, I don't know. It's like people sit there all the time and they're like, oh, I want unconditional love. And I think I even said this in my other video. It's like, oh, I want unconditional love. Okay. Well, honey, you've had it. And so have the two guys that I've been with before you. But it didn't mean shit to them, so I guess it ain't gonna mean shit to you either. I mean, I'll love you past your weird oddities and your obsessions and what the fuck ever. But you can't even love me for the basics of who the fuck I am? Like, seriously? Like, why the fuck am I alive? I'd really like to know. And then it's like people, I've sat here and I've literally watched everybody else able to find somebody to depend upon, whether it's emotionally or financially or both or what the fuck ever. And even though, like, yeah, I lived with my family up until I moved out and got a job, and stuff like that. But for as far as being able to depend on somebody, like, for nurturing and growth-wise and emotionally especially, like, I ain't never fucking had that. Like, I ain't never had nobody that I could just call up and be like, I need you, and them show up. And sometimes I think I would kill for that. And it's like, here I am dealing with you, this girl or whatever acting this way, and here's my fucking dog missing, and fuck, I don't even know if you can hear me because I cut my hand over the fucking speaker again, but, it's like, I'm tired of being there for people and nobody being there for me. And I'm tired of crying about it. But it's like my damn dog, he's been missing for over a month. And if this girl would have stopped it, like, just not have been an asshole, like she has been and everything, he would probably done be back home and I wouldn't be sitting here thinking, well, things are unfolding the way that they're unfolding and to hell with it. And I was going to go looking for him, but it's rainy and cold outside. And I can't risk getting sick and catching a head cold. And my manager that took me to look for him the other day, and she's like, oh, I seen him this morning and everything. Like, dang on, she's like, but if you find another ride to go look for him. And I was like, I haven't found anybody to take me for a ride to go look for him. Like, do you know what it's like to go a month and not have a ride from anybody to go look for your damn dog, and he's just less than a mile down the fucking road? Like, literally, like, nobody gives a shit about me. Nobody cares about the things I care about. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, all I wanted was a home that I could actually make into a home and to raise my kid. That's all that I fucking wanted. Like, I try to not be greedy with life and be like, oh, I want everything. I want money. I want the finest looking person to be with, that's gonna, just do it for me based upon their looks and their money and their status. And, like, I try to not be like that because I don't know. I don't know why. It's like, I don't know why the fuck I'm made the way that I am. And it's like, I used to be proud of the heart that I have. Because it's like, I learned to have the heart that I have because I did get emotional support for the first 7 years of my life. And I got that from my papa. But then he died. And I've tried to hold on to that. It's really hard to hold on to that for 23 fucking years. It's like, I had to beg and plead with my kid's dad one time to come pick me up so that way I wouldn't go to prison. Because me and my aunt had gotten into a fight because she sat in the goddamn room with my child, who was 2 at the time, and was making fun of her because she was fixing to have her teeth pulled. And she was like, oh, can you imagine, to my niece, or not my niece, but to my cousin, to her daughter. They were in the bedroom with my daughter. My daughter's 2. She's bouncing on the bed, laughing and giggling, having a good time. She don't know that they're talking shit about her. They're talking shit about her because they're mad at me, because my aunt's mad at me, because I popped off at her, because she was getting into an argument with her daughter, my cousin, and telling her that, she shouldn't have waited till the last minute to plan for her wedding. And so I just went off on her and was like, listen, it is what it is. She's done did it, and you done said you're going to be here to help her, so help her. Do it. Do what you said you was going to do, or shut the fuck up. There's no sense in it. So she'd got mad at me. And my aunt's one of those little pissy aunt type people that has to, tit for tat her whole damn life. And, so I go into the other bedroom because they just moved in a house to help my granny switch beds. And so I'm in there putting the bed frame together, and I hear them sitting there talking. And I hear her say, man, can you imagine being Ava? Ava's going to walk into school, and people are going to make fun of her, and people are going to be like, yeah, there's that redneck Ava child, no teeth. Hi, my name's Ava Myers, up in kindergarten, and people are just going to be laughing and making fun of her. Can you imagine? Oh, my God, they're such a hillbilly family or some type of shit like that. And I went in there, and I was like, what'd you say? And she's like, oh, I didn't say nothing. I'm like, the hell you didn't? I know exactly what the fuck you said. And she's like, I didn't say anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And they're in there laughing, and my daughter's laughing, but she don't know what they're laughing at. So I pick up my kid, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with y'all. I'm like, you can't admit what the hell you just said, and I just fucking heard you. I said, no. I said, I'm done. I said, I don't ever want to see you again. I said, I'm done with you. So I walked into the living room to use the phone to call anybody I could think of to call to get a ride home. And my aunt comes in there and follows me because I'm telling on voicemail, to my parents' house, what happened. And she's trying to holler in the background that it didn't happen and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, Dad, you fucking know me. You know when I tell the truth. And I was like, so, come and get me whenever you get off work, if you get this before then or whatever. And she just kept on coming in there, pushing my nerves and pushing my buttons. And she got up in my face and she's like, you're this and you're that and da-da-da-da-da, just going off on me. And so, I'm going back off on her. But I'm wanting to put my kid down so bad and just haul off and slap the piss out of her because that's what she needed. But I know if I do, it's going to be a fight. And then my cousin, she didn't have full custody of her children at the time. And my aunt was the one that had custody of them. And so my cousin came in there at one moment in time. She's like, calm down. Don't make her mad, because if you do, she's going to take my kids back home. And I was like, do you really think I give a fuck about you and your damn kids right now? I said, right now, I give a shit about my kid. And I give a shit that y'all were in there laughing and giggling and making fun of my damn daughter, and that you didn't stand up and you didn't say a goddamn thing. I said, because if it was me, I said, I would have fucking said something against that shit. I said, but no, you sat there and you made fun. And she's like, well, Heather, that's the way you got to be with my mother. Don't you know that about my mom? That's the way she is. That's the way that you have to be with her. And I was like, fuck no, Misty. I was like, no, you don't. I was like, you're full of shit for thinking that too. I said, that's the world that you live in. I said, you live in that scaredy cat world where you got to kiss somebody's ass just because they can help you out financially or some type of shit like that. I said, I don't live like that. I said, my daddy taught me that I can live with damn, fucking pair of blue jeans and goddamn t-shirt and barefoot as fuck if I got to, I said, I don't got to kiss somebody's ass and sit there and put up with their bullshit. I said, now you do, because you want this type of lifestyle and everything. And I said, so go for it. I said, but don't drag me into it. And so she's like all upset and she starts trying to cry and everything. And I'm like, don't fucking cry because you done the damage. I'm like, it's done. It's done said. I done know how you feel. I done know you're going to throw my ass up under the bus and my 2-year-old daughters. I was like, so just fuck it. So I couldn't get a hold of my parents, of course, because they're at work. Now, I did get a hold of my mom, I think, and she was like, Heather, I'm not coming and getting you just for that stupid-ass reason. And I was like, you don't understand, I'm fixing to go to jail for beating your damn sister's ass. I was like, no. I was like, you need to come and get me now. And she's like, I'm not. I can't, and everything. And so the only other person that I knew was my kid's dad. And me and him had not talked in, like, I don't even fucking know how long. Like, at least few weeks or maybe some months or something. And I called him and I was like, listen, I was like, I need you. And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, I need you. I said, I need you to come pick me up. I said, because I'm fixing to go to jail for beating my aunt's ass. I said, she said this about Ava. I said, if you give a damn about me, if you give a damn about Ava, I said, you'll get over here and you'll pick me up right now. I said, because you wouldn't want our daughter to be left alone with my parents and them to be taken care of her because I'm in fucking jail. I said, so you need to come pick me up right now. And he's like, wait. I had to stay on the phone for like 45 minutes convincing him that this is real. This is real. I'm really fucking pissed and you really need to come and fucking pick me up because I'm fixing to lose my goddamn mind. So then he's like, well, where are you? Well, I don't want to give out my cousin's address and shit. So there's a park nearby. So I'm like, hey, I'll walk to the park. I'll meet you at the park. So I put on my jacket. I put on my daughter's jacket. I grab her diaper bag. And my cousin's like, I'll at least drive you to the park. There's no sense in you acting like this. And I said, well, because it's cold and raining, I'll get in the fucking car and you can drive me to the park. I said, but other than that, I said, we're done. And like, so that was it. Like, she drove me to the park. He was there. I threw the damn car seat in the back of the fucking car and he drove me home. That's the only time I've ever been able to depend on him. That's the only time I've ever been able to depend on anybody whenever I'm like, I need you. And so, I mean, I'm grateful for that one time, but at the same damn time, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Now, with this girl, though, in all honesty, I was able to depend on her one day, but I didn't even know her that well. I done knew how I felt about her and everything else, and she was helping me and stuff, but it's not like it was life or death, except for this one damn day that I was just losing my goddamn mind at fucking work and shit, and so she showed up. But it's like, I've sat here and I've witnessed people like my mom. She's always had else my aunts or my grandmother or my dad or people that she works with to talk to be there, to be supportive, to whine, to bitch to. And it's like my grandmother has always had the rest of the family to call and whine and bitch about and everything. And me as the scapegoated child, I don't have nobody in the family that I can depend on like that. Because when I go to my grandmother, she tells my mom. When I go to my aunt, she tells my mom. And my mom being a narcissist and my mom putting me in that scapegoated child situation, my mom will literally convince them basically that anything bad, even for as far as me having a miscarriage, like it did not happen. Like, I mean, that's how manipulative she is. And it's like, so they sit there and they'll turn back towards me and they'll be like, Heather, you've had a perfect life. No, I haven't. And it's like, I'm just tired of not having nobody to talk to and depend on like that. And it's like, this girl, I thought I had that in her, but apparently I don't. And I just don't know why the fuck I'm alive. I really don't. And I say that to people, and people know I got a kid, and they're like, 'cause your kid. My kid's not home. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, I don't fucking know. It's like my sister is like, she always had her boyfriend for 7 years. Like, she could break a fucking fingernail and need somebody to bitch, about, need somebody to bitch to about it. And he was always there for her. Like, even the relationships that I've been in, the closest that I came to that was my husband, and my husband was a truck driver. So he was fucking gone. Like, all I could do was bitch, and talk to him about the shit that I was going through. And I could sit there and I could tell him that I was lonely or that I missed him or shit like that. But it's not like somebody that you live with, and you see them every day and they can hold you, and comfort you. And I never had that with my kid's dad either. And, like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me for me to not have that. Like, I swear to God, I just want to go to my papa's grave and just fucking kill myself and be like, well, his dead body, and my dead body on top of his grave. Because he's the only person that ever held me when shit was falling apart in my life. And he died when I was 7. Like, do you know how fucked up that is? Do you know how fucked up that makes me feel? And then it's like my kid has basically slept in the bed with me ever since she was 6 months old and outgrew her bassinet. She never had a crib. Nobody gave a shit to buy her a crib. I tried to buy her one time and I got in trouble for keeping the money because it was refunded like $150 from where they'd first paid my doctor bills when I was pregnant with her. And my mom cussed me out for it and called me a liar and a piece of shit for doing that, even though all I wanted to do was buy my daughter a crib. Oh, they bought my nieces a crib. Well, one of them, I think. Or they helped buy it, or they helped move it, or something, get it to the damn house. But my daughter never had a crib. So my daughter went straight from her bassinet into the bed with me. And that's practically where she slept most of her life until now. Now, I mean, she slept in her bed, quite a bit when it was with my husband, and quite a bit at my grandmother's sometimes. I mean, out of a week, let's say like half the week, she'd be in her bed, but half the week she'd be in my bed. And then even when I was at my grandmother's, like, and I was sick, oh my God, I got real bad sick with bronchitis there for a while. And I didn't even know what it was because I refused to go to the doctor. And, she'd come in there and she'd climb into bed with me because she was sick too, but hers was a head cold. And I'd be like, maybe you don't need to be in here with me because I don't know what's wrong with me. And she'd be like, but Mommy, I want to sleep with you, And so I'd wake up, and roll over, and she'd be in my dad's bed with me. Like, she would have snuck into bed with me, even though I tried to get her to fall asleep in her bed. And, but that kid's always slept in bed with me. And so in that's how I've survived this long and everything, is even though she's not the best to, cuddle up on or whatever, because she flails her arms around like a mad woman sometimes or whatever and stuff, but just being able to like look at her while she's sleeping and be like, thank you God for blessing me with such a good kid and all this, and watch her sleep and be grateful for that and everything. But like, I ain't fucking never had nobody. I don't know why the fuck I'm alive. I really don't. I really fucking don't. I'm alive to be treated like shit. Like, and then that goes back to, okay, maybe I am alive to commit suicide, And then I guess, I must have wrote it on Facebook because I don't think I did a YouTube video on it or whatever, but it's like, when I was a little girl, I had this blanket that was my favorite blanket or whatever. And, like, my dad, because he was so abusive, and see, that's the thing too, is like, I mean, he would abuse the hell out of me when nobody was around, but when my papa was around, like, my papa would make him stop because I'd run to my papa, and my papa would make him stop. And my papa knew how abusive my dad was, and so he'd tell him, not touch me, not lay a hand on me, and all kinds of stuff. But whenever Papa wasn't around, I'd catch all hell. But anyways, I had this blanket that it had a piece of like satin on the outside edge, and I loved that. Well, it had fallen off on one side, and so I took it one time, which I'd done this several times, and put it around my neck and stuff, and around my head and everything. But I remember one night, and I don't know how old I was. I had to have at least been 5. But Dad had beat my ass probably about 2 or 3 days prior, and I was just sitting there trying to see if anybody'd pay attention to me. And nobody would. Everybody was dipping their plates and everything, and nobody even acted like I was there in the damn room or whatever. And I think I had else got done eating, like they'd fed me beforehand, or I don't know. All I know is I was sitting in the floor between my dad and my mom. And my dad sat at the end of the table, and my mom sat to the side of him. And I took and I put this around my neck, and I was just sitting there twisting it. And I was like, I wonder how long I can handle this. And I was like, I wonder if I can make my face turn blue. I wonder if I can make my face turn purple. I wonder if I can make myself pass out. I wonder if I can pass out permanently, because I'd done passed out from him beating my ass. So it was nothing to me to pass out. And then I was like, I wonder if I can pass out and never have to come back here. And so I literally just kept twisting it. And like, he even looked down at me, seen me doing this, and seen that my face was like changing color. And he just looked back up and kept on eating. And it was my grandmother or my mom. Maybe it was my grandmother sitting there, but I think it was my mom sitting there. But it was one of them that looked down and seen what I was doing. And they screamed at him to do something to stop me, that I was fixing to die, because I was choking myself to death. And so he pulled out his pocket knife, and I remember even thinking, just stab me and kill me and get it over with. Like, just get it over with. But instead he cut the damn blanket, and then I was mad because that was my favorite blanket. And I was like, you son of a bitch, you just ruined my blanket. Like, because I was trying to hurry and undo it before he cut it. And he seen me doing that, and he thought, no, you're going to get, I'm going to cut it, because they're telling me to. And not only that, I know you love that blanket more than anything, and you don't want nothing to happen to it. And, so he ended up cutting the damn side of it. And anyways, then my grandmother, I think it was, like, grabbed me and asked me what I was doing, and I just, like, fucking smiled at her. I was just like, because, I mean, if you're used to violence, you're used to receiving abuse, there ain't nothing new. But, that was my first, like, suicide attempt. Then my next one was when I threw myself off the bleachers because my best friend at the time had moved on and got her a new best friend. And I just got my ass beat recently by my dad. And I remember I even tried to show my friend's mom at a birthday party. And she, like, gasped. And she was like, Jeanette, because that's my mom's name. She's like, what are you going to do, And nothing. Like, not a damn thing. And so, she's like, I don't know what to do. He just gets so angry with her. And that's another thing, too. The ultrasound, when my mom was pregnant with me, supposedly I was supposed to be born a boy, but instead I was born a girl. And my dad walked out and didn't come back for, like, 2 days or whatever. So that's what I did, is I ruined his little perfect scenario of what a family's supposed to be. And, so anyways, my friend, or whatever, had got a new friend, and I'd done reached out for help, I thought, and shit. And so I just threw myself off the bleachers because I had a nightmare anyways before, where it's like something kept chasing me to the end of a cliff, and it's like I jumped off the cliff, and when I jumped off the cliff, it's like 2 angels come and picked up my soul and took it to heaven. And so I was like, man, if I jump off these bleachers and I fall and I break my fucking neck, I was like, I'll die. And maybe my soul will leave my body before I even feel the pain, before I even fucking die, you know. And I mean, like, I remember coming over, like, toppling over, like, I'm surprised I didn't break my neck. I don't know how the hell I didn't break my neck. But instead, I ended up busting my whole fucking eye, and it fractured, like, the fucking jawbone or whatever, the cheekbone. And then I had to deal with that shit. And oh my god, like, that took forever to fucking heal, and then the nerves to numb and everything, because I used to have shooting pains and all kinds of shit, and just sit and cry myself to sleep at night so that way I could go to sleep. And then probably not another suicide attempt until my friend committed suicide. And I was distraught because, I mean, this was a guy that I was going to date. And actually, I take it back. I think I tried to hang myself. Yeah, okay, I take it back. I tried to hang myself once before, I believe. I don't know when, though, because I was... No? Okay, it is the same time. That's right. It is the same time. But my parents, they took me to his viewing, but they wouldn't take me to his funeral, and I didn't know that they wasn't going to take me to his funeral. It's like they took me to his viewing, and on the way to the viewing, I remember they played that damn song that they play, you know, for Elvis Presley's funeral procession or whatever. And I was like, why the fuck is my dad playing this? This is just making me cry worse. Like, I'd literally just missed the past 3 days of school. And I had not even showered or anything. Like, I just didn't give a shit. And so I remember I showered before, like, we went to the viewing, you know, out of respect, but I put on my same black hoodie. And I was just distraught as fuck. And his parents, like, they even, or I don't know if it was his parents or aunts or whoever it was, but there was, like, one chair that they had sitting up by his casket. And they told me to sit there, you know, and everything. And, like they was like, you know, I don't know if they knew who I was or the whole situation, or that I was fixing to try to date him or whatnot, or if they just seen how distraught I was. But they was like, here, sit here with us and the family, you know, seat or whatever that we got pulled up here, you know, because I'm going to get up and walk and do this, you know, and so you can sit up here and sit beside him. And I remember just sitting there just staring at him for the longest, and, like, he was so handsome. Like, he really was. Like, he had beautiful red hair. And he had the longest eyelashes you ever seen on a guy. But, and he was so funny when he would laugh. Oh my god. But, fuck. But anyways, so I went home that day from the viewing, and I thought I was going to be able to go to the funeral. And so I woke up that morning, I got ready. Well, it got closer and closer to time, and I noticed that nobody else was getting ready in the house. So I went and asked them, I was like, doesn't the viewing start at 2? When are we going? Aren't you going to take me? They just flat out told me no. And I didn't know why. Other than I know that I didn't act. Because his little cousin got to talking to me, and, like, I actually kind of hit on his little cousin, because, I mean, I don't even fucking know what came over me, other than the fact, like, that this is his cousin, and, like, so he's related to him, and, like, I don't know, like, I ended up, like, kind of hitting on him, but not like real hard or anything. But I was just like, well, here's my number, call me sometime. And I felt bad even doing that, like afterwards and everything, because I was like, holy shit, that kid's so much younger than me. But then I was like, fuck, maybe they'll realize, they'll chalk it up to me grieving because I am. And the thing is like, the kid gave me this guy's hat, and he was the one that cut him down. He was the one that found him. And he was talking to me about that, and how he found him and everything. And, but, anyways, like, I don't know. Like, I don't fucking know. But my parents wouldn't take me to the funeral. And so I went in my room. And I debated for like 30 minutes whether to leave the door unlocked or not, because I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do. And so I went and hung myself. And then, like, as soon as you get to the point where you're fixing to die, you ultimately regret it. Like, regret kicks in. And so that's what happened, and the regret had kicked in. Then I'm hanging there for like probably a minute and a half, I guess, or whatever, and I'm starting to regret it. And it's like it took me that long to even relax, so that way, like, I could feel the full pressure, And so I'm like, shit, I don't need to do this. Fuck, I don't need to do this. And well, the guy, he wouldn't be, proud that I did this, because of him not being here. And so I tried to get myself down. I couldn't fucking do it. I tried like 5 damn times to reach up and pull myself off, but I couldn't do it. I weighed too much, like I couldn't do it. And I remember just like giving up and just being like, okay, I'm gonna die, that's all there is to it. And I remember thinking, God forgive me. And literally, as soon as I thought that, the damn thing snapped and broke. And I fell. And I remember I fell on top of my stereo into the floor. And I got up and locked the door real quick. And my dad come beating on the door, and he's like, what's that commotion in there? What the fuck are you doing in there? What the fuck's your goddamn problem? Don't you be throwing shit and da-da-da-da-da, and everything. And he just went off on me, and I was just like, no, that's not what happened. And I just left him alone. And so I sat there and dealt with that. And then my latest suicide attempt was probably like my one that actually came, to be, was when my husband left me. And so this has been 5 years ago. And I mean, he just had really got on my nerves, and there's a whole bunch of details that I don't even feel like getting into. And he wouldn't leave me alone. He kept calling me and practically just fucking with my mind. Like, because he'd sit there 1 minute and be like, I love you, let's get back together. And then he'd be like, but you hurt my feelings and you're a piece of shit. And like, he just kept on and on and on. And I remember I'd begged and pleaded for weeks for him to just leave me alone. I was like, stop calling me. I can't take this. We're broken up. That's what you did when you left. Like, you abandoned me. You abandoned my kid. You abandoned us. We're done here. There's no sense in talking about it. And he just kept, God, he just kept on, like, he'd keep calling and calling and calling. And my grandmother, I was living with her, and she's like, you need to get on the phone and talk to him because he's your husband. And so, there was a gun in the room where I was staying, and he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. And I tried to get off the phone with him like 3 damn times, hang up with him, and he would just keep calling back. And if I didn't answer, my grandmother would get on to me. And so I just picked up the fucking gun and took the safety off and made sure it was loaded, put the barrel to my head, and pulled the trigger. Son of a bitch didn't go off. I did that I don't know how many times before I got so mad that I took the son of a bitch apart, pulled all the bullets out, pulled the chamber out, put the damn thing back together. Nothing. And I did that I don't know how many times, trying to get the son of a bitch to work. I even aimed it at the fucking mirror and, like, tried to fucking fire it. Nothing. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to take a bunch of pills, and hope that that works. And I went to go get a handful of pills, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna need something to drink this down with. And, like, my husband at the point in time, he's on the goddamn phone, he's, like, screaming, and he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Talk to me, what are you doing? And it's like, when you're that far lost mentally, like, unless somebody different, somebody that's not causing the emotional pain, can kind of snap you back into reality, like, you're fucking gone. Like, you're gone. You're not there. And so I grabbed a handful of pills and I went to go to the kitchen to get something to drink, and thank God, I guess. I don't know. But I seen my kid asleep on the couch, and I just lost it. I fell to my knees crying. My grandmother come back there. She heard the thud of me hitting the floor. She's like, what's wrong? And then she'd seen the pills in my hand. And she's like, Heather, give those to me. How many have you taken? And I'm like, none. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. And, like, she didn't believe me. Like, it took me 3.5 hours to convince the bitch that no, I hadn't took anything yet. And that did not help the situation either. Like, you're calling me a fucking liar. Like, you've known me my whole life. When the fuck have I ever lied to you? Like, nobody knows me. I don't know. I don't get it. But, so I seen my kid, my grandmother come back there and got on the phone with my husband and told him to never call there again and shit. And, which of course he did, but he backed off, thank God. But, that was my last suicide attempt. Like, the one that really came into fruition, I guess you'd say. And so, and here I am. I finally got a job. Finally got moved out. Trying to get my license and get a car. My kid's coming home complaining about when she's being babysit over there, that everything's bad, everything's negative. She's having to watch my youngest niece, like, they're putting it off on her like she's the oldest sister and all this and everything. And so I'm like, okay, you're just not going over there anymore, and you'll come to work with me, and you can sit here and we can do this, and I can talk to my boss and this and that. And then my kid's coming home complaining about the same bully for 3 fucking years. And I've done everything I can. I've done talked to the principal and turned the principal against me because, oh God, it caused a problem in her school. And instead of it being, like, there's an actual fucking problem in your goddamn school, you fucking bitch. No, you're going to put it off on me and be like, you know what? You're the problem. You're the problem, honey, and so is your kid. Fuck you, okay? If you ever see this, fuck you, you goddamn bitch, okay? I'm sorry that you want to sit there and you want to keep getting your paycheck because you're getting good reviews for your fucking school or what the fuck ever, but you're an asshole, okay? You're nothing but a fucking bitch, okay? And we fucking knew it from day one. We fucking knew it from day one whenever we came in there to talk to you. Me and my dad both, because we sit there right there with you and told you flat out, if this kid does not stop, that my kid's probably going to haul off and punch the shit out of the other kid. And you're like, well, if they do that, then you have to understand that your child's going to get in trouble for that. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And you're like, yeah, but she's really, really going to get in trouble for it. And I'm like, okay. And then because we're giving you the heads up, you're going to tell me that my kid's going to get, like, kicked out of that fucking school? Like, you fucking bitch. Really? Like, this kid you even admitted has a mental condition. And so she's been picking on my kid for 3 damn years. It's just a whole nother can of fucking worms. But it's like, here I am trying to build my life up, trying to get my life together. And then I call my parents and go ballistic. I do. I go ballistic on the fucking phone telling them to come pick up my daughter because I can't put up with her anymore at the moment. Like, I can't fucking handle it. And the reason I called ballistic and crazy like that is because if I call and say, hey, will you come pick up Ava? I need a break because, I'm a single mom. You're going to fucking laugh at me. You're going to fucking talk shit about me. Which you already do any fucking way, so I don't know why the hell I didn't think of that in all honesty. But I can't depend on you for shit like that. Because every time I even call and I'm like, hey, the trash needs to be taken off, or hey, this, you're like, fine, I'll be there eventually, or I'll get it tomorrow, or just like with me driving, next week, well, next week never came, did it? Because here I am, 30 years old, and I'm not fucking driving. Nothing has ever been good enough to get y'all's asses off the fucking goddamn seat of your fucking high horse or what the hell ever to get your ass over to fucking help me out. And I needed somebody to come get Ava right then and there because I was tired. I was just emotionally worn the fuck out. That's all that I needed. And instead, y'all took custody of her and y'all ripped her away from me. I will never, as long as I live, this life and the next, and so on and so forth, I will never forget this. I don't think I'll ever forget any of the hurt that I've been through. But I'll never forget y'all doing this to me. I don't know. I'm so tired of being so reserved. I'm even reserved right now on here because I don't want to sit and cry. You're taught to be reserved and hold everything back. Except for in loving somebody. Oh my God. Apparently that's the wrong type of... Apparently you're supposed to be reserved in that and be like, no, I don't fucking love you. I don't fucking like you. You're a piece of shit. I don't even know. I watched this one tarot video earlier today that was talking about how twin flame relationships and you need to let go and they've missed out on the gift and the gift was you and that you really are the person that they prayed for, that they wanted somebody to care about them and total and everything. And it's like, that's the way I've been with this girl, and like this girl just ain't done shit, been shit or anything for me ever since she got mad at me. And I'm just like, can I die? Like, so if nothing else, I'm going to end this here because it's coming up on a long ass time and I don't want to sit here and keep on because I will keep on. Because I could talk forever because I just got a lot of shit to say all the time. All the time. My mind's constantly thinking. But, so I'm going to be a little bit of a smart ass, I guess, in my ending. So if you think my videos are awesome, or what the fuck ever, like, it's the only way that I know to be right about now to get through the ending of this. But if you like my videos, like hearing me bitch about shit, comment, like, share, or subscribe, and I'll catch you later.